championship game, early look. Going to be a big one down in Atlanta. Again, Ohio State heavy favorite. Ross, what are your initial thoughts right now on how this is going to break down in a week from Monday?
Well, a big part of this game to me is the injuries on Notre Dame. Jeremiah Love obviously banged up. They lost to 2 linemen. Haven't seen a report on those offensive linemen and how they're doing yet, but they certainly are the more banged up team. And I think we talked about how an expanded playoff will grind you, right? And at the very end, it might be the healthiest team who wins. So that is a concern going in. One of the things that somebody asked me after last night's game, after seeing Ohio State's defense, was how the hell is Notre Dame going to score? And I think that's also an issue that the Irish need to find some creativity. I don't think they've relied a lot, obviously, on the running game. They've relied a lot on Riley Leonard making some plays with his feet every now and then. They're going to need to get creative here, and they're going to. Yeah, 9.5 points is a lot of points, but you understand why. So they're going to have a tough one here. This is a tough matchup, and it's an old school kind of game, Dan. One of the things that have stood out to me is the playoff teams that are left and that were left the Final Four. They're all like not super. I mean, I know Ohio State has all this offensive talent, but like these are teams that are kind of built defensively on like just kind of average like quarterback. There's not any kind of like Alabama team, right, with the spread and they're throwing it all around. And so these are like old school more teams the way these are built. So this could be like it could be a really low scoring kind of a similar games that we saw in the semifinals, a 20-13 type of game. But certainly I would favor Ohio State as they are. But looking forward to kind of this grinding physical game that we saw in the semis.
I am looking forward to the Overreaction Sunday Pod Super Bowl. These are 2 teams we buried. We buried on this show. We buried Notre Dame after Northern Illinois. We buried Ohio State after Michigan. Unbelievable job by both of them coming back from what looked like catastrophic losses. And it's all the old trite bromides we hear with sports. Not what happens when you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Well, that's true. How do you put something really bad behind you? How do you move on? How do you get better? How do you learn from it? And both these teams did it. And so good for them for being here. I think Notre Dame's up against it. I do. I'm not counting them out by any stretch because that was a team that refuses to get counted out. I mean, the willpower that they exhibited against Penn State was extraordinary. The offensive line injuries, Anthony Knapp, tackle that was injured. He was in a boot coming off the field after the Orange Bowl and like limping badly in the boot. So whatever's going on there, ankle, foot, I don't know. And then Rocco Spindler was the other injury there. Jeremiah Love gritted through with an incredible performance. He's got time to rest at least, and we'll see if his knee is a little bit better. And he's a little more explosive because that's a guy who's, a 50, 60, 70-yard run guy if he's fully healthy. But even without it, I mean, the running through 3 guys like Walter Payton to score a touchdown because I'm not going to be stopped play was epitomized Notre Dame. Yeah, that was awesome. So the one thing, and we saw this a little bit Friday night, Ohio State to me is a little like a speed horse. They're like War Emblem, 2002 Kentucky Derby winner. They get out and they break fast. Forget it. It's over. They got more talent. They're comfortable. They're going to just hit their groove and they're going to kill you. But you don't break great, get a little dirt kicked in your face. Then how do you handle it? And we saw it was a bit of a struggle. Now they came through. They made the plays. They drove for the go-ahead score and then obviously made the great goal line stand to put it away. But the longer this is a game, the longer Ohio State has a chance to become a little uptight.
Yeah, I think, obviously, look, Ohio State's should be the favorite. They have the knockout power ability. And if you look at this Texas game, Texas defense played about as good as you're going to play. And it's Notre Dame. I mean, Ohio State has the type of guy that in a Trevion Henderson can get a 75-yard screen pass and go to the house. And it's just backbreaking. But you take that out, that one play, and not, albeit great play, I don't want to just take it out, but that and the defensive touchdown, they were held, somewhat in check. They only had two scoring drives. I thought they did a great job on that. 370 total yards. You take out the 75-yarder, it's under 300. And then they get this incredible defensive score to put it away. 3 and 10 on fourth down or third down. They convert 1 on fourth with that Will Howard. I think they showed maybe how you can take Jeremiah Smith out of the game. Can Notre Dame do that? We'll see. I would try to put this game in try to make Will Howard beat you as a quarterback. And then Notre Dame has to be able to control the clock. You cannot just keep giving Ohio State shots at this. They're going to break you eventually. And can they run the ball? They only had 116 yards rushing against Penn State. They have to get that line healthy. They got to get Love healthy. They've got to have a tremendous effort from Riley Leonard in just converting and holding the ball. They held it. I think they had almost 40 minutes against Georgia. They only had 30 against Penn State. They've got to win time of possession, grind it, get to the fourth quarter, and see. A lot of heart on this Notre Dame team. So we'll break it down more as we go. But they're going to have to play an exceptional football game against Ohio State to win, because this Buckeye team is everything we thought that they would be going in.
Yeah, real quick, I would say, if you remember when they played the infamous 10 men on the field game, Notre Dame with Al Golden coordinating the defense bracketed Marvin Harrison everywhere. He had 3 catches for 23 yards, I think. 3 catches for 32 yards. Can you do that with Jeremiah Smith? Maybe. I don't know if you can roll out the exact same formula, but they've shown the ability to face an elite Ohio State wide receiver and do a good job on him. And they have a very good secondary.
Yeah. Going to be interesting.